Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's July 31st, 2016. The PGA Championship concluded today. Jimmy Walker, at age 37, won his first major title. What we're going to do in this video is expose one more time rigging in the world of professional sports, showing that this tournament was scripted for Jimmy Walker to win. And if you're new here, that might seem like an unbelievable accusation. But what you'll come to find out if you listen, if you pay attention, if you have an open mind, is that you don't have to believe anything about my work. By thinking, by acknowledging, by applying the skill that I'm teaching, you can see how the world of professional sports is rigged just as I have and as I now teach. Also, if you're new here, my track record is pretty well proven. Here is USA Today just before the Super Bowl mocking me. The reason they were mocking me is because in October, I began putting out all this information about how the Super Bowl was rigged for the Broncos. And in November, I predicted that the Broncos would defeat the Panthers. And shortly after that, I predicted that Von Miller would be the MVP of this game to come. And on top of that, I even said there would be a Black Panthers tribute at halftime, which ended up coming true. So I predicted both teams correctly, who would be the MVP, and that there would be a Black Panthers tribute all months before any of this happened. And for doing that work, USA Today put out this hit piece on me, mocking me, calling me a conspiracy theorist, putting all these derogatory terms out there about me. You can read this article, just search USA Today, Zachary K. Hubbard, it'll come right up. I also have a video responding to this post from January when it was put out, showing the mocking in numbers at the end of this. At the end, he mentions that there's 47,000 vile things on my blog, which is what we're looking at when I do the decoding work. And the reason he chose 47,000 is because the first Super Bowl was in the 47th year of the NFL. It's a very special number to Freemasonry. And then he also links to this episode. We won't watch it here, but the song that is sung in this Simpsons episode is called We Do. We Do in gematria sums to 47. W's the 23rd letter, E's the 5th, 23 plus 5 is 8, D's the 4th plus 4 more, 32, O's the 15th, 32 plus 15 is 47. So he links to this song called We Do. It's a Freemasons episode about the stone cutters, which is a tribute to the Freemasons who are builders, who are stone cutters. So anyway, the article mocks me, but then in the final paragraph, subtly, it acknowledges that I'm right on. I'm decoding the Super Bowl. It's a tribute to the year of the first Super Bowl, the 47th season of the league. That was the year 66-67, Packers over Chiefs. But anyway, I'm just trying to say, my work, what I expose, it seems like it's craziness, and it should be craziness. And the reason it is because this world is governed over by crazy people. Masonic Zionist Jews who hate everybody who's not like them, who control the media, who control the world with money. These people are the banker tyrants. This is how they keep a wrap on everything. They overpay these athletes so they keep their mouths shut. They control the message that gets out because they run the media. They're able to keep all this rigging under wraps. I'll tell you what first stood out to me before I did any decoding with Jimmy Walker is his initials. JW, J's the 10th letter, W's the 23rd, put it together, 33. That's the number of Freemason obsession. As I say in every single video, I just put out this video, middle of the month, after Henrik Stenson won the Open. I showed why he won. It had everything to do with his name, his birthday, and the date the tournament fell on, just as it always does for all of these tournaments. If you watch this video, one of the numbers I talk most about is 87, and YouTube has kept this video at 87 thumbs up now for pretty much the entire time it's been there. And they've also added about 259 thumbs down because they don't want this information to get out. I am showing beyond a shadow of a doubt how the world of sports is rigged. It is undeniable unless you make yourself deny it. Look at this. It's always the birthday. It's always the names. Jimmy Walker is born January 16th, 1979. The word champion has gematria of 79, fitting that this man would become a champion at some point. But anyhow, Baltusrol Golf Club, where it was played today, the PGA Championship, gematria of 198. From his birthday to today is 198 days. You know? Perfect. On top of that, from January 16th to July 31st, if you don't count the end date, another way to say that is 197 days later. Well, the reason that's so interesting is because his name, James William Walker, that's his birth name, in Gematria sums to 197. As I continue to say, if you measure from the birthdays, if you measure to the date of significance, such as the final day of the tournament, if you measure the name of the golf course and you look at who has the most numbers in common, you can pick who the champion is. In golf, it's difficult because it's a field of 100 people often. You know, that's a lot of decoding to do. But if there's a handful of favorites, if there's a narrative in the media, you can look at that grouping they're talking about, and you can often pick the right winner from that grouping. A lot of people were asking me for 2 weeks to decode this in advance. You guys, I do so much work. I spend all my free time doing this. To decode an entire golf tournament, you know, that would take me hours. And if you're new here, it would probably take you a whole day. So you have to apply yourself. You have to get good at this. But you can also use this knowledge in hindsight, as I'm doing right now, to show just how lined up it is. And if you are following my blog, I actually decoded this guy in the morning before the tournament was over saying he's going to win the tournament. Look at how everything lines up. So it was no surprise that he did. Of course, it was easy to pick today because he came in as the leader. Jason Day, he also had some nice numbers lining up today. It's the reason he's number 2. You can check my blog for more info. Let me show you some interesting things about the tournament today. It was at this golf course. The last time it was there was in 2005. So 11 years later, it's in New Jersey, just outside of New York, the 11th state. Phil Mickelson won it in 2005, the last time the championship was here. Remember, Phil Mickelson was runner-up at the Open. And in the video I just put out on the Open that has all these thumbs down, I said why to look out for Phil Mickelson next year at the Open. I will not be surprised at all if Phil Mickelson wins the tournament next year. A lot is going to line up for him. Then again, there'll be a lot of other men in the field. So, you know, to be fully accurate, again, you got to decode it all. But Phil Mickelson has a lot that lines up for him next year. We'll see what happens there. Here's what I want to show you, though. Golf in Jewish Gematria equals 83. The Open equals 83. PGA Championship equals 83. This is why they name the things that they do. It's just like how World Series equals 57. When you write out 57, it equals the same thing as championship, the same thing as Super Bowl. Gematria is the important language to the Freemasons, more important than the letters and words themselves. And English is based on Gematria. The Freemasons have been doing this for centuries. They built the English language on this concept, just as Hebrew is a letters and numbers system. The course was 121 years old this year. The square root of 121 is 11. It's been 11 years since they last played there. Just thought that was interesting. Beltusrol has the gematria of 39, like New York, like NY, like Empire, like the numerology of New York. It's in New Jersey, but it's just outside New York. New Jersey always in New York's shadow. I noticed that PGA in English gematria also sums to 144. I just throw that out there for my veterans. Very significant number. Have to look for that in future PGA decodes. Somehow I'd always overlooked that until today. The tournament started this year, July 28th, 2016. That's a date with 44 numerology. If you write out 44 as a word, it sums to 144. Connected to PGA. You know, fitting day for the PGA Championship to start on. Also a date with a life lesson number of 47 today. Very Masonic numbers. And also a day with 74 numerology. Masonic equals 74. Jewish equals 74. It's the Masonic Zionist Jews who control media, who control banking, who control the world of sports. One of the big highlights today was Jason Day's 74-foot putt. You know, makes me wonder how legit it was. It's my belief that to ensure these winners, they have to use technology in the putting game to make sure shots either go in or stay out. Somebody already tweeted on my blog that watched the tournament today. They said that the winner's birdie putt on 17 looked very suspicious. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but maybe somebody else has seen it, and they're thinking the same thing. I've mentioned that perhaps they're using magnetic technology to pull the ball or to push it enough to keep it in or out. Some people think that's ludicrous. Other people have said it's not magnets, it's robotics technology, such as the BB-8 toy, which is a ball that you can remote control. You know, somehow they are ensuring people win by the numbers. I know that golf is a game of discipline. You know, people have days where they're on the money, where they're seeing the hole just like any other sport. Remember, all of these men in the field are at the top of their game. These are the best golfers in the world. That means they can play as poorly as they want within control, and probably up to a certain level also within total control. You know, most of these guys could probably go out and shoot par plus 2 over in their sleep. For most people, that's unattainable, but these guys are all that good. You give them a technology advantage, you know. It's the only way to explain what I'm documenting. All these people winning continuously with the birthdays lining up perfectly. So there is still an element of mystery, but when I continue to show tournament after tournament that it's always this way with the birthdays, with the names, I don't know how anyone can deny it. This golf course, it's in Springfield. Springfield has gematria of 119, like All Seeing Eye, like Star of David. That's why it's Springfield in The Simpsons. You know, this cartoon that programs the masses with predictive programming. The Simpsons even gives away sports championships. So much predictive programming in the world of sports, clues left for who will be winning what in the future. Let's just watch this clip of listen to the announcer call out the 74-foot putt. For all we know, the putt could have been 80 feet, could have been 70 feet. They just want to yell out this number. This number is so important to the gang. If you watch my video on the Open, I was talking about how the course location, 74 gematria, this number is so important to Freemasonry. There we go.
Today, this is a putt from 74 feet in the third round by Jason Day.
Boom.
And he drains it.
Right on the money.
He's just
was it legit, though, or was it technology? You know? Something tells me it wasn't legit. A 74-foot putt on the date with 74 numerology in the world of Freemasons rigging sports by the numbers. You know, you guys can go back and watch my video library. You can watch this video. I'll link it in the description. I'll link my work on the Masters. Covered the Masters and the Open the last 2 years. If you watch this video, you'll learn a lot about the Masters. The name of the golf course matches the first date that it was ever played on in history, matches the word Masonic, you know. For all you sports fans, I'm sorry. I don't mean to kill this world the way you know it, but it has to be done. All these grown men sitting on their asses, watching these rigged games, cheering for things that are predetermined. You know, don't shoot the messenger for letting you know what's really going on. The world of professional sports is scripted. If it weren't so, I wouldn't have been able to predict all that I have in the last year. You know, Broncos over Panthers, way before it happened. For the NBA Finals, I predicted Cavs over Warriors, and it wasn't just that. The numbers that I talked about all season showed up in all the games. You know, I told everyone when the Cavs were down 3-1, they were going to come back. I talked about the number 41. LeBron scores 41 points the next 2 games. You're missing out if you're not following my work. If you've been following my work for the last year and a half, 2 years that I've been here, you would have seen me call a lot of things right by the numbers in ways that it shouldn't be done. Mets in the World Series in spring training, I even called the score of Game 3, 9-3. Who calls the score 9-3 in baseball? I'm not a psychic, you guys. I've just figured out how it's scripted, how they code it, what to look at. And I keep telling you golf fans what to look at. Stop asking me to do the decodes for you. Watch my How to Gematria video. Apply the knowledge. Expand yourself. All right, until next time, true